was kind of wondering if maybe when I thunked the coffee cup down, was I going to knock this little brace that I got going on here that I put on last night. And yeah, I did come back to the model table, which you will see in the rollback, and we got this glued on, and we talked about the semaphore and so on, but that'll be in the rollback. Now, we did not get that snowstorm that I was told about yesterday. I was expecting to wake up and find about 10 centimeters or more of snow that I had to deal with. Apparently, though, it is coming later today. So they say. So I'm told. I haven't actually checked the official weather. I'm just going by what somebody told me. Now, today might be our big day. And what do I mean by our big day? Well, this might be the day that Andrew from Photo Central gives us a call and says, hey, it's in, finally. I know way back in the springtime when I phoned them and let them know I was interested, the idea was, oh, they'll be here in August. That was what, half a year ago. Well, finally, it's getting really official, and quite a few people already have theirs. So there's a good chance I might be getting mine today. Yeah, well now, of course, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the D9. And you know what? It's not going to make a huge difference to you as a viewer. It will be more of a difference to me as a camera buff. Yeah, I think you will notice a difference in smoothness. For instance, if I move my hand back and forth, it won't be as jerky. It'll be much smoother, and you'll be able to see. You won't lose detail as much in something that is in motion, but something that is static, like for instance the ship. It's not going to be any better. It's not going to be any sharper unless I start uploading in 8K. Now, right now, 8K is a little bit finicky to edit and process and upload to YouTube in. Now, some people are doing it, but I'm not really set up to do that yet. But you know, as time progresses, maybe that'll change too. You know, I like keeping up with technology. I went to 4K way back almost 4 years ago, and when I did, people were saying, "Well, why go to 4K? Nobody's watching in 4K." Well, now pretty much everybody that likes to watch YouTube videos is watching in 4K. It's not a big deal anymore. It's quite affordable. Anyway, let's get on here and move in and attach the line. I do want to talk about Tony's comment today. I've sort of put it off for 3 days now, and yeah, let's just carry on here and well, you know what? We'll watch the rollback first. Now, before I continue on this evening with our ladder here that we were working on, Mark sent us a email, or a comment rather, about the semaphore, and he was saying that there were 3. So I thought I better get on that right away and find out why it is that we've got this extra one. Well, it turns out I've only got one mounted on the deck on the ship, and I've gone back in the instructions here to step 43, and it says make 2. Now, it's been my experience that even if one was not, the third one was not needed for another few steps down the road, it would have said make 3. And I can't see a place where the third one can go. However, this one goes on the other side. Now, I know you probably can't see it, but there's one right there. And there's supposed to be one mirror image on the other side, which was this one. Now, when I was looking at this one up close, it does look like originally it was plugged into something, because the bottom of the staff here is, well, it's kind of dark. It looks like a different kind of paint. So anyway, that problem solved. At least I know where it goes now. But as far as the third one, Mark, goes, I can't figure out where it's supposed to go on the model. Probably on the real ship it went somewhere, but, you know, the model is not, doesn't have all the proper details, as we know. Okay, let's continue on here. I'm going to maybe trim off the excess easy line there when we were cutting it off with the scissors. I didn't do a very good job. I thought because it was upside down and everything was sort of handy, it would be easy to cut off, but it was almost easier the other way when it was, you know, attached to the ship. Anyway, things don't always work out as planned. This doesn't want to cut. You know, I'm looking at this and it does not look like it's CA'd very well. It does not look like it's CA'd very well. I'm going to have to redo that, because I can see that it's going to pull out of that hole. It's going to pull out of that hole. Sometimes when you see something in 3-dimension, now of course this is not a 3D video, but if we rotate it, it gives the illusion of 3D. And I think what I'm going to do is I am not going to try and nip off those little pieces of easy line on the inside of the stringers. I'm just going to leave them as they are. Okay, I'm going to get this on the side of the ship, and next time I see you, we'll be trying to hang the single line down from the davit and hooking it into the little V thing we're going to make out of this. Okay, just moments ago I got this glued on here. It's probably just started to cure. In all likelihood, I could take Mr. T's poking device and remove it, and it would probably still stay there. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a night, and we'll check it out in the morning. See you in the morning. Okay, those of you who like to look at the clock as soon as there's a new scene to see what time it is will notice that I can't actually say, well, it's morning. Yeah, I've had a rather interesting morning. And here's what's happened. When I was editing out the opening scene and attaching the rollback to it and so on, I noticed in the bottom right-hand side of my computer a little message comes up. Those of you who have Windows 10 probably know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's a message from Photo Central, an email. So I check it out. The camera's in. So I was dealing with that, I had to, make arrangements to buy it. And I mean, it's not going to come for nothing, right? So I had to deal with that aspect of it. Anyway, Andrew is going to be dropping it off this evening on his way home from work. Yeah, really good service there at Photo Central. I've been dealing with those guys now for over 4 years, and nice people. Anyway, yeah, so in all likelihood, in tomorrow's rollback, we'll be having a box opening. Now, I'm going to try very hard as I continue on here today to not, well, I'm going to try to not poke at things. I have this compulsive poking disorder, as you know, and I have this feeling like I want to twist on this and see how strong it is, but I better not, right? Okay, I'm going to try not to poke, and I'm going to try not to talk about the Z9 anymore. Or, if you live in the United States, the Z9. Okay, here is the plan. We want to attach some easy line going over this davit here. And try not to get my fingers in your way. Well, maybe we could go up and through. Okay, so the idea would be to go over the davit and put a little bit of CA there. And then what I want to do is, after it adheres, I want to grab hold of the bottom and pull it just taut enough that it forms this one here into a V. So that it looks more like a bracket. Now, as I mentioned before, I could have maybe extruded some sprue and made something up out of hard plastic, if you know what I mean. But I think this is probably going to be okay. But I'm going to reposition the camera, because here's where I want to try out Tony's idea. Okay, in a moment we're going to be zoomed in just right in this area right here. You won't be able to see all the rest of this. I just wanted to give you a bit of perspective here as to what's going on. Now, on the davit on the other side, if you remember, we made sort of a little knot, and we slipped it around that pulley right here. And then we drew it tight. Now, with this one, what we're going to do, I'm just going to leave this back here out of the way, is the idea is that you put a little bit of CA on the part. Okay, and then when you touch the easy line to it, it's supposed to can't talk and work at the same time. Well, let's just leave that there. I guess a person could always reinforce it. I think that after I cut this off. Oh, and I have an idea. Just let me show you something here. Okay, now I think if I hold these just right, they should stay in focus. Now you'll notice when I turn these scissors like this, they're really thick. I mean, they're really thin, but I mean, when you magnify them, they look really thick. And I'm just sort of wondering if a person was to take and file down one of the blades, not both of them, but one of the blades almost to the place where it is shearing, okay, and then you could get in really, really close. And then the top, and then say the bottom blade was thin here. Let's see, how can I do this? I thought if I turned it over, it would be different, but it's actually the same problem. And then the idea would be that the thin blade would go right down nice and close to the plastic, and the top blade would sort of shear it off. At least that's the plan. I think that might actually work. Now, you can see this a whole lot more clearly than I can. Does it look like we should reinforce that? It doesn't. From what I can see, it doesn't look like there's very much CA, holding that on. But maybe there is. Maybe all I'm going to do is just make a big blob on the end of the davit. Okay, now this, what you're looking at, is a crochet hook. And believe it or not, this is another one of Tony's suggestions from about 3 years ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to just pull this easy line away. Now, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm pulling it out. And the plan is, maybe with a little bit of blue tack somewhere on the base of the model or somewhere, I want to be able to pull this sort of tight. Like, let me get in here with the tweezers here. See, my plan is that I would like it when I nip this off, this little part off the top there, I want it to appear that the easy line is coming from the davit, that pulley. And I think if I was to stretch it like this easy line stretches, right? And okay, just let me give me a moment here. Okay, I think if I was to put a little bit of CA on it right now, when it cures, it will appear that it's coming from around the pulley on the davit and down. Now, nobody's going to get in close enough to see that anyway, but I can hardly see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got it. Okay, let's let that cure. Okay, we're backed off a little bit now so you can sort of see what I was doing there. I was running the easy line down here and stuck it under a little bit of blue tack. Probably about 10 minutes or so has passed here. So we can take this off now. Release the tension. Alright, now alright. Well, pulling the wrong line here. Okay, this stuff is so fine, it's literally like, it's about the thickness of a human hair. Now what we're going to want to be doing now is drawing this up so that we get our little V thing shaped here. We will zoom in when we do that, and then try and very delicately where the connection comes between the two lines, CA it. But that's probably going to have to be in the tomorrow's rollback. Later on this afternoon I'll do that. And a little over an hour I'm getting a coffee visitor, and I'm going to be able to take my time to do the final edit and get everything uploaded to YouTube here. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.